I just wanted to pop in and let you know, give you a disclaimer. I promised that this week I would cover Marriage 101 Part 3 on self-development. But I really felt like a more relevant conversation this week would be on forgiveness. We have a lot of time on our hands dealing with this pandemic, and we're at home a lot. We're working in some cases a lot, and people may or may not live up to our expectations. And I just wanted to give us a tool to really think about ways to let go and forgive when people offend or annoy or vex or frustrate us. So hope you enjoy. Hi, thank you so much for stopping by P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and today we're going to tackle forgiveness. I'm titling this Funneling Your Resentment. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button so that you can know when I upload. Well, you won't know until you hit the button, and then it'll give you a notification every time I upload my videos, as well as give me a thumbs up and share comments below. All right, so forgiveness. I want to define that before we get further. I wanted to give you something to think about and to work on in your life so that, again, you can keep this journey of becoming better and better all the time. So forgiveness is a release of resentment and the decision to let go of an offense. You know, I've talked to you in other times past about love being a decision. Forgiveness is also a decision. And one thing I'll leave with you hurts you much more than the person you're holding that resentment towards. In a lot of cases, they don't even have a clarity of the impact they made on you. And more importantly, unfortunately, because we get guilty of just being into ourselves, we're just trying to get our needs met. We're just trying to navigate through. When I first got married, my husband didn't like it when I would tickle him, but I was known in my family as the tickle monster, and especially my brothers. I would get them in a quarter and tickle them to the point where I could just go like that and they would just jump. My baby brother, he would just be like that, and I thought that was funny and cute. It wasn't until my husband showed me how uncute it was that I stopped doing it. It took me years, though, to stop because I had been doing it for years. And I thought it was harmless. But I said that to say that so many times we do things to each other and we really don't mean anything by it in a lot of cases. I'm not talking about things that are intentional, like you're dating a guy or a girl and they're fully aware they're not serious with you and they are playing games for one reason or another and they are just trying to see what they can get out of you, and so they played you. I'm not talking about that type of thing. I'm saying that if you think about it in life with relationships, there's so many times that we get offended, our feelings get hurt, we get disappointed, our needs aren't met, our expectations are not met, and as a result, we can get into a form of resentment toward that person because they didn't meet our needs. And what I'm trying to tell you is that more often than not, people are not thinking about you. They're not trying to not think about you either. You're just not the center of their world. In fact, in most cases, unfortunately, they're in the center of their own world. They're managing their world the best they can. And that goes for married couples too. You get in a marriage and you tell your spouse, I like it when you do this. I don't like it when you don't do that. But what you have to remember is that they are doing them. I'm doing me. So when you tell me you don't like it when I do a thing or you want me to do a certain thing, I've got to step outside of me long enough to even give you what you asked for in the first place. And if I drop the ball or if I don't meet your need, it sure isn't because I was trying to find 15 ways to hurt your feelings. I just was doing me. Now, should I just be doing me? Absolutely not. I should be secure and whole and well balanced enough that I can get outside of myself and be a blessing to the people in my life, especially those people close in my life. But people are going to hurt you. People are going to fail your expectations, and you will do yourself the biggest favor by finding ways to let it go and to forgive them. Now, that doesn't mean be a doormat. It doesn't mean just let people walk all over you and do everything, and everything is, oh, it's okay, it's okay. No, it's not okay. No, racism isn't okay. Inequities aren't okay. Abuse is never okay. We're not talking about that. But we're saying in the scope of things, in a day-to-day situation, we're constantly accidentally doing things that hurt or offend another person. And you have to be willing to let it go. I also wanted to remind you that we're all in relationship. And in relationships, we need 4 things, 3 of which are so similar you can barely separate them. We need love, connection, relationships, and respect. And when you think about it, we were made in love. So we are of love, and we need love. Even if we tell ourselves we don't, it's usually because we got hurt some kind of way, got wounded, and kind of closed up. But the reality is we're human beings and we need love. We need connection. We need each other. Do we need everybody? No. Are we as popular as our Facebook, our LinkedIn's, or our any other Instagram, social media, Twitter accounts say we are? Not at all. Those are superficial relationships that are more so for networking. But in our real lives, we need true and authentic relationships. And sometimes we think we have more friends than we do, and we really don't. We actually only have a few friends, probably on one hand that you can count and say, yeah, those are my true blues. Those are people who really have my back and really are out, and they have my best interest at heart, and I have their best interest at heart. So you have to know who those relationships are and then nurture those relationships. But even in those relationships, which are the ones that are the most significant, whether it's siblings or outside relationships, they're going to let you down. They're going to hurt you. And you have to find ways to forgive. I'm saying this to married couples, as well as dear friends, best friends, as well as lovers, as well as co-workers. Because if you think about it, if you really, really think about how many people in the last year you've hurt on purpose. You were out to get them. You will probably struggle to get more than 5 incidents like that, because that's not your intent. And you might have done it 20 times and not even been aware of it. That's the other part. So that's why I say, when you hold on to unforgiveness and you refuse to let it go, then you end up hurting much more than the person that you're trying to hurt through your rejection, through your decision to leave them alone. This was for me too. When I even wrote this, I thought, oh my goodness, I got to deal with this. I got to walk in my own advice. But I just wanted to encourage you that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. And when I told you about those 4 things, love, connection, relationship, and respect, guess what? It starts with you. There I go again. That's self-development. We have to love ourselves. Now, we have to be selfless also, not so caught up in ourselves that everything is all about us. Ooh, I'm in my circle, and my circle is all about me, and woo, woo, woo. How can you meet my needs? No, I'm not talking about that. But you have to be balanced and understand that you're valuable. You were created for a reason. You matter. You're awesome, and you got to work on whatever you got to work on to believe that. And you don't want it to be superficial. You want it to be so authentic that when someone outside of yourself disrespects you or disregards you or lets you down, you don't make a mistake and value yourself against that ruler, that measurement. Because the first measurement is that you understand how precious and valuable you are. And out of that, you can then love others. You can connect with others. You can have valuable and meaningful and real relationships. And you, respecting yourself, will be able to give respect to others. Likewise, when you think about people who act out, like even the protests that we've had in recent times, people felt disrespected. If I have a son and I've got to worry about if he's going to come home at night because of all the different police issues that have come up over and over and over again, he's going to feel disrespected. And out of that, we're going to have behaviors that probably aren't the most desirable. But again, it's because human beings need those four things significantly. I say all of that to say that as we go into our lives and we're interacting with one another and we're moving and breathing, we want to make sure that we sow into the lives of others the types of things we hope to reap back. And we want to pay it forward. If I'm at the grocery store and I see somebody short and I have the ability to give them something and not hurt, or maybe it's a sacrifice for me, but it's not going to cause me to not bring home milk for my baby, then I should pay attention to that. If I have a friend that calls me up and they're hurting, and I was going to talk about something else, but all of a sudden I recognize this person is worse off than I am, I need to stand attention. The power of sowing goodness, of sowing generosity, of sowing tenderness and grace. Grace is not getting what you deserve. And how many times have we wished that we were going to get grace in a situation? We're running to the courthouse for a ticket that we earned, but we're running late. And if we're not there, they could put a warrant out for our arrest, and yet we can't find a parking spot. So we park where we really shouldn't park, and we hope like heck when we get out of that court, we don't have another ticket to deal with. And we get out and there is no ticket. You probably are reaping something else that you did for someone else down the road. Now, I'm not encouraging unlawfulness. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying constantly we're reaping and we're sowing. So you want to make sure you sow goodness. You want to sow generosity. You want to sow grace with people. You want to give people mercy. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Very seldom are people trying to hurt you. And if you will be willing to do those types of things in your relationships, you will get it back 100-fold. And you'll not even recognize just how many close shots you missed. But you missed them because you were willing to give. That when you hold on to resentment, when you hold on to unforgiveness, you are paying much more for it than the person that you really are holding it for. They're, in most cases, pretty oblivious. So I hope that you will remember this, come back to it sometime and listen to it again if you're going through a rough spot with a relationship, and that you will share with other people as well, because we want to be the best we can be. We want to be healthy. And hit that subscribe button, click the bell, give me a thumbs up, give me comments. I welcome those, and I wish you a glorious 7 next days. See you next week. Bye.